Hi, my name is Hannah Nolan. I'm the Expedition and Community Outreach Specialist for the Schmidt Ocean Institute, and we're learning about our Ship to Shore program. So, SOI's Ship to Shore program, how it works and how to apply. First and foremost, our Ship to Shore program is maybe our most interactive of all the different outreach opportunities that we provide at the Schmidt Ocean Institute. And we aim to make sure that the Ship to Shore program is adaptable, immersive, equitable, and organized. A little bit about what we're going to be discussing when it comes to the Ship to Shore program. We're going to discuss what it is, what is the new structure of the Ship to Shore program. So it's been recently updated, and we're going to discuss what this update entails, the rollout plan for our updated program, as well as additional information that might be important for science teams as well as the general public. So, what is the SOI Ship to Shore program? I really love this picture because it is an example of a Ship to Shore program. We have one of our former artists at sea, Ellie Hannon, and then Dr. Karen Miller, are both laughing and talking to a group of students from the original conference library room on Falkor Classic. About the Ship to Shore program. So it's a virtual field trip program, and it's super immersive. So it's not just a few people sitting in a room talking about the science. We have the technology on board RV Falkor 2 to show you basically anywhere on the ship, though primarily we focus on the main deck. So we can go into the various lab spaces, into mission control, through our CCTVs. We can also show the aft deck, and any technology that might be on board on the aft deck, like an autonomous underwater vehicle, or AUV for short. We can also go into the hangar and show ROV Sebastian in the CTD. And it's also a way to directly interact with the scientists and hear about the work that they are doing at sea. We also leave plenty of time for audience question and answer, and we find that this is maybe the most rewarding aspect of our Ship to Shore program, is that it is a way for us to directly answer any questions that you may have about the science. Beyond learning about the science that happens on board RV Falkor 2, you can also request to learn about maritime careers, so what it might be like to be a marine technician or a officer on board the bridge. You can also request to learn about marine technology, as well as our Artists at Sea program. Now we have updated the Ship to Shore program into 4 new formats. And there will be different ways to apply for each different format. And we're going to go over that now. So first and foremost, what we're hoping will be our new bread and butter for the Ship to Shore program are our virtual assemblies. Now, the virtual assemblies will be posted each year. They will be open to anybody to sign up. We will have a schedule on our website of these virtual assemblies. We will aim to have a minimum of 2 per expedition. There will be a maximum of 500 participants per virtual assembly. It will take place over Zoom, and you will have to register to participate. We will promote the virtual assemblies through our social media, our newsletter, and on the Deep Ocean Education Project. And there will be suggested grade levels for each of these virtual assemblies. So we will aim to hit both sort of 5th through 8th grade for a more middle school audience. And then we will also have a high school tailored one and maybe some college options as well. Beyond signing up for a virtual assembly, when we post a schedule, you can also request a virtual assembly for your school. So there has to be a minimum of 100 participants in order to request a virtual assembly. So it could be an entire grade level at your school. It could also be the entire school, basically. So Yeah, so you can apply for just your school, but we do have to be cognizant of the time, the effort, and the bandwidth that our ship to shores take. And we want to make sure that as many students as possible can connect with the ship and maybe get a bit of that spark of curiosity when it comes to science at sea. So beyond the virtual assembly, we will also maintain small group connections. So small group connections feel really important to us to because we understand that some students need a more personalized approach when it comes to ship to shores. So our primary audience for small group connections will be nonprofits, museums, aquariums, and schools in the region where Falkor 2 is operating. We really want to make sure that we can show people near where Falkor 2 is operating the deep sea in their backyard. Beyond that, because we also understand other students may require a personalized approach, organizations and schools that serve low-income, minoritized, English second language, and students with disabilities can also apply for a small group connection. And though that application will be live on our website soon. And these connections will take place over Zoom. Next up, we have our public events. So this isn't necessarily something you need to apply for to maintain a level of connection with everyone who participates in or follows Falkor 2 and the Schmidt Ocean Institute. We will have these live streamed public events hosted through our YouTube or with our partners, where anyone and everyone is invited to participate. These will just be large live streams. They'll be announced over social media, our newsletter, and through the Deep Ocean Education Project. And then finally, this is a new program we're pretty excited about. We will be trialing it in the fall of 2024, and then hopefully expanding it if it proves successful. And that's going to be our education partnerships, which we will have select groups that we will invite to participate. And should they agree, it will be an academic year-long program where groups will connect with Falkor 2 on each and every single expedition and learn about the science goals from each different scientist and learn sort of how the variety of oceanography and ocean at sea. And also we will plan to have sort of a primary figure in each connection that the schools will get used to. And beyond that, maybe we'll learn about some maritime careers, etc. We will also provide pre and post lesson plans. Again, this will be be launched in fall of 2024. So those are our 4 new formats. And of course, now that we've updated the program, it's time to talk about our rollout strategy. So what is the rollout strategy for these 4 new formats and for our updated program? So as we've already we're underway with expeditions and learning the ship, we will be launching virtual assemblies in fall of 2023. So the rollout strategy for these 4 new formats is going to take place over the next couple of years. As we've already gotten started on expeditions and the academic school year is winding down sort of for many different people, we will be holding off on launching virtual assemblies until fall of 2023. And actually, sort of the schedule will likely be coming up at the end of the summer of this summer 2023. And then again, keep an eye on the website, and that is where you will see opportunities to sign up for a virtual assembly. Small groups can apply through our website. That application will be coming online here very soon. Keep an eye out for it. We will promote it over our newsletter, social media, and on the Deep Ocean Education Project. And then finally, well, actually not finally, public events will occur on a rolling basis. Again, just keep an eye on our social media and newsletter and the Deep Ocean Education Project. And then educational partnerships will be launched in 2024 in the fall of that school year. And again, we are going to trial that first to make sure it works and then open it up to more groups. Preferably working with regional schools where our ship is operating. So some additional information, just to sort of talk logistics and also maybe answer some questions that might come up while I was going over the rollout of our updated program. This does take place on Zoom. It will always take place on Zoom. The ship to shore lasts about 45 minutes to an hour. I want to provide just a little bit of information for scientist affiliated groups. So a lot of the times, scientists have groups that they are very excited about that they want to connect during their expedition. We are in full support of that, but to maintain the organization of the program moving forward, we are going to request that any group that a scientist going on an expedition on Falkor 2 has, who they would like to connect with the ship, we would like for them to either apply through the small groups application or to apply for a virtual assembly if the size is large enough. So that will be our strategy moving forward when it comes to science affiliated groups. Another little logistical thing, the ship to shore program, we will have one per weekday. So Mondays through Fridays, one per day for ship to shores. And that's just because they do take up quite a good amount of time to set up and conduct. We will also always factor in the time zone that the ship is operating at. So in order to really respect our crew's hour of rest. So if the time that a small group or a larger virtual assembly group requests interferes, like if it's going to take place at 3 in the morning, or if it takes place during a meal time, we might not be able to honor that request. And that's, again, just to make sure that we are honoring hours of rest. Beyond that, as I mentioned earlier, there are different topics available that you can request through, that you'll be able to request through the small groups form. So you can request to learn about the Artist at Sea program, marine technology, or maritime careers. And we also understand that scientists often have other obligations when they're out at sea. So if you are a scientist coming on RV Falkor 2, and you might have to participate in a panel or give a lecture to your students back on shore, the Ship to Shore program is something that can support this. So a lot of scientists have enjoyed conducting lectures from the ship and showing their students around the ship and doing their own sort of virtual field trip for their students. And as well as panels, we can fully support any sort of panel participation that you might need to do at a conference through the technology that we have. And again, if you would like to show different aspects of the ship during that panel discussion, that is also something we can discuss. And that was something that will come up in expedition outreach planning prior to an expedition. And then finally, equity is very important to us. Access is very important to us at the Schmidt Ocean Institute. So being able to host ship to shores in the primary language of the region where we are operating is very important. And we will strive to offer connections in the primary language for each expedition. So yes, so multi-language connections are are something we will be able to support. So if, for example, for the next couple of years, the primary language where we are operating will be Spanish, and we will definitely have Spanish scientists and outreach personnel or Spanish speaking scientists and outreach personnel on board to support ship to shore connections. So that's it. That's everything about the Ship to Shore program update. I look forward to speaking with you further in the actual webinar in the next couple of weeks. Thank you so much for listening.